let it fill for a minute, and then we'll do the thing.
Yes.
The thing doing. Dun dun dun. Was that dramatic enough for the thing doing?
Yes.
Yep.
It was just dramatic enough.
Excellent. I'd hate it if it was like over dramatic. That would be the worst. Oh god, don't start that. Come on, man. Hmm. Oh my god. Hang on, I have to kill my hiccups. Okay, I think they're dead. Why is my nose bleeding? Yeah, all right. That's a minute. So, everybody good?
Yes.
I'm good.
We'll just assume Dirk's good. Now. Okay, here we go. Wait, Dirk, you good?
Looking to see if I muted myself. I'm like, I said yeah. Have I muted myself again?
Not now. Now you're good.
Okay.
Like for real, for real.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ow, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is, as far as I can tell, episode 652 of the Mana Pool. And this is our twice yearly, I guess, Magic RPG episode. For anyone who has not been with us for ever, welcome. And way back in episode 407, apparently, Brian had created a brand new. This was before Brian started actually playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, years before.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian created an RPG system, sort of kind of based on stuff from Magic.
Yep.
And
Actually, loosely based on an April Fool's episode we did forever ago that we all had fun with, and we're like, let's do something like that again, but different.
yeah. And so we do periodically, extremely periodically, like once in a while. Not on purpose. We don't mean to leave it so long between episodes, but that's how things are.
Yeah, that's just how it goes.
So, yeah, I'll go first. I am Chewy, but I am the angel, and I have a sword, and I'm very hot.
Yeah, you are.
And so is the angel. And with me, as always, are these other planeswalkers and Brian.
Yeah, I'm Brian. I'm the game master, and so I'm gonna be dictating a whole lot. If this is your first RPG episode with us and you love it, great. Don't expect another one anytime soon. But we do enjoy putting them together. And if you don't love it, don't worry about it. It'll probably be a long time before we do another one. And it's not the majority of what we do. So something for everybody. Or not.
I'm Mike, and on these episodes of the podcast, I'm also Karim, the soldier, and also recently cursed with vampirism. So, yay for you! So now we got to deal with that.
No, Alaric, no killing it.
Hey man, do what you gotta do.
And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greatest man alive and moral compass of the group. And in the RPG episodes, I am Alaric, the monk human from Innistrad. Who's out to kill Mike. Kareem. I mean, yes.
And spoiler alert, I will confuse Mike and Dirk's characters' names, even though I'm looking at the Twitch and I can see them in front of me at least 2 or 3 times. It just, I don't know why. The Angel is so evocative. It's just the Angel, but the others, I'm just like, oh, Mike, Kareem, Joe Bob.
Stave.
So,
I mean, what?
Steve.
So, Game Master, if you would, could you remind us what in the hell is going on?
Sure. So,
And the
not going
viewers,
over.
not just we know.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is for y'all.
Yeah. Of course it is. Of course it is. So, these three planeswalkers find themselves on the plane of Trivester, and they find themselves unable to leave. And they've journeyed over actually like miles and miles and miles of this plane and been to a variety of locales. And you at one point found yourself at a tower made of a redstone camerot, which
Oh
for
yeah,
you
here is
lower.
the map, by the way. The
There
tower
it
is over here, right? Although you can't
The
see my
ta-
mouse. Huh. I need a
No,
pointer.
I can't. The
Hell there.
tower is located to the east of the big tree.
Yeah, the tower is right here.
There we go. Yep.
There's the tree. And at some point we were down here for a while too. I don't know. I don't remember what was all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, that's not inaccurate. And then you find yourselves at the tower. You were unable to get in. You headed to the mountains in the north, and you met a Noggle that was actually a dragon, and passed a test or a couple. Got some new equipment. Got a key that would let you into the tower. Before you decided to go back to the tower, you're like, "Oh, we need to go talk to a guy named Gander and Asok, who is in that town that's directly south of the big tree." And that's where Kareem met the guy and killed the guy when the other two weren't around. It was hilarious in a certain way. Saved a woman, um, Alana, from the vampire's embrace, and ended up turning himself into a vampire inadvertently as well. And since then, getting us back to the events of the last episode, you were all kind of hanging out. Kareem went back to Gander, the vampire's study, to look for other things that might help you out. Uh, Uncovered a scroll, and while Kareem was upstairs checking behind the bed and just seeing if there's any other hidden passages, Alana apparently absconded with the scroll and started making her way eastward out of town. Not sure exactly why or for what purpose, but you said, you know what? Well, we need to go to the tower anyway. Let's start heading in that direction. And on the last episode, you found a rather hilly section with some steep slopes and some bees. And there was one. Almost everyone was able to climb these except for Alaric stumbled, and in an effort to save him, literally everyone else failed. And you were all plummeting toward bees, but you got away from bees. Alaric like smashed himself into a tree and actually needed some healing by the angel. Uh, you found a clearing that seemed to be okay, and then a Fleetfoot Panther jumped out and attacked the angel and was promptly decapitated thanks to her shiny new sword. That's really nice and does a lot of damage.
I love my sword.
And it's very impressive. Um, you were like, "Hey, Kareem, you know your way around." He's like, "Yes," and he took you in a circle, and you found yourself back in the clearing, and you're like, "Huh." And eventually, as the day wore on, you found yourselves in a massive, massive clearing. Trees behind you, and trees way, way off in the distance. As you started to cross these fields, you heard a cacaw from above and started getting run down by a wind brisk raptor. trying to decide whether or not to hide or to confront or just keep running. You eventually shot it out of the sky and killed it, which just is more of a testament to how much your characters have grown. You settled in for the night, kind of in an area on the other side of the massive clearing where the trees begin again, but where you can kind of keep an eye on things. And you did hear sounds in the middle of the night, including a deer being dragged away by predators, but nothing else has caught your eye. So you wake up in the morning. You are at the edge of the clearing, and the trees rise up in front of you into the massive forest known as the Deep Green of Trivester. Are you? What are you doing? It's a hot day, by the way. Like hot.
Are you talking about in game or like what we'd had to deal with today? Because yes.
Both, both. But in game, you do see there's a little bit of that early morning stickiness, where there's no cicadas here, but you can almost imagine the sound of the cicadas.
Oh, wouldn't that be eerie to be in a place with no like bug sounds? Ugh.
That would
Like
be strange.
I don't appreciate the bug sounds myself, but like if they weren't there, I think I'd be severely weirded out. Anyway.
Yeah, what out there is so horrible that even the bugs ran away and hid.
All right. I guess what I should do is fly up and see if I can see anything over the trees, you know, just get an idea of where we're going.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll a d6 for me to see how far you can get.
I'm working on it. I forgot I actually didn't take all the dice out of the little deck box. You said a what? A 6?
A d6, yes.
Hooah! Oh god, where'd it go? It's a 2.
It's a 2, and your base fly score is either a 2 or a 3. Which is that? I want to make sure I'm working off the correct information.
What I have says 2.
That's what I thought. Okay, so you're able to fly up a pretty good distance. The trees here are fairly tall, but you're able to start getting, especially since I'm assuming you're standing in the clearing, going straight up and not walking into the woods and being like, all right, I'm gonna fly through all these branches. So
Yeah, that
you
would
fly
be
up.
actually dumb.
Yeah, but hey, I will always let you do dumb things. So you see from where you are, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right map. Um, you see trees heading out in front of you, and the ones in front of you are fairly tall, but quickly after about 300 feet or so, length of a football field, they start getting even taller. And it looks like from up here, the canopy seems to almost stretch upward, and it looks like the forest gives way to almost more of a jungle climate in front of you. You are uh, from the position of the sun, you're able to tell that yes, you have been heading in a northeasterly direction toward the tower, but you are unable to see it from this distance. So you gather you're still a little ways out. But you remember it also took you quite a while to get there, to get from the tower to Aosk. Um, and that was when you were also split up. So it's not a big surprise you can't see it yet, especially with the little bit of a detour you made yesterday. You don't see anything else notable. If you turn to the left, you do see in the distance the giant tree of Drazil about where it should be. Hasn't moved.
At least not much, right?
At least not much. Yep.
All right then. Well, I'll relay that to the guys, and I guess we'll take off. Whoever was supposed to lead should lead, and not whoever's not supposed to lead, because I distinctly remember getting confused last time.
Yeah, yeah. Last time I made sure that I reviewed the episode just to make sure I had the most relevant information, and yeah, Alaric started leading, and it wasn't going great. And they're like, "Wait a minute, doesn't Mike do this? And Mike made a comment to basically like, yes, I have the better trekking score. I just suck at rolling dice. So, and then you've rolled in following order a 6 and then a 1. So you're both right and wrong. But it's usually Kareem.
All right, boss. You're the trekker. Trekkie? Trekkish?
That's a convention.
Trekkomaniac?
So, Kareem, if you are leading, I need you to roll a d6 and add your trekking score. He muted? Are you guys hearing him? I'm not hearing him.
Not hearing him
No.
either.
Did we lose him?
Oh, sorry, I muted to cough and I forgot to unmute. It's a total of 4.
Okay, a total of 4. All right, 1 second. Need to roll this here.
Blarg. Suddenly,
So-
our leader was struck dumb.
So, given
He was pointing,
giv-
and we were like,
given that you had a slight direction assistance by the angel, as well as a fairly decent score in that category, you start leading them in, and it does appear like you're making good ground. You're following a loose path, although there's no footprints or anything like that. As you know, these woods tend to not only bewitch and befuddle passersby, but they're actually magically enchanted to try to confuse people. So you're following through. After about 2 hours, you feel like you haven't really run into any major impediments. And as you're walking through the woods, and it has gotten into more of a jungle atmosphere, the trees are taller. You see more of what would almost be a more of a tropical climate vegetation. No pine trees, but a little much bigger fronds on the trees, and not as thick, not as thick uh, trunks to some of them. A little thinner, but very very tall. It's interesting.
Hmm.
Mike, Kareem, as you're walking along, after about 2 hours, and you're in this jungle type environment, a sound starts to reach your ears. And you're not sure exactly what it is. It sounds almost like a growling, like a lion, but different.
Is it my stomach?
Is it a panther?
It is neither a panther or his stomach. As you stop, get your bearings, look around, a figure hops down from a tree and lands about 10 feet in front of you. It's about your average size feline. Very short white fur in its chest area, but has like the dark, almost boots looks to it, with its legs are covered in a very black fur, its tail's a black fur. And it looks at you and goes, "What?" And as it does so,
I'm sorry,
its
could you make that sound
eyes-
again?
I live with 3 cats, so I talk with them more than I talk to my clients. But
and they
but
behave
as it
better
does,
too.
depends.
Eh,
As it does so, its eyes start to glow green, and you start to hear rustling all around you.
are the rest of us seeing any of this, or are we all just oblivious?
You're all seeing this.
Okay.
Mike is in
Okay.
front. Yeah. Mike
I'm
is seeing
tripping on
this.
acid.
I was like, are you stoned? Hello?
Yeah. So, we're gonna go into combat mode now. Whether or not you choose to fight this, of course, is your choice. But the cat is acting aggressively towards you, and you hear sounds from all around you. You are not in a clearing. You are in what could almost be considered like a forest passage of sorts. The trees are like it's almost like an alleyway of trees. They are not so thick you can't pass through them, but they're pretty thick to either side of you. Mike, because you were the first to observe this. This cat is about 10 feet from you. Its eyes
Mhm.
glowing green. What do you want to do?
Um, look around and try to figure out what's surrounding us.
I was gonna say, I feel
Okay.
like there would be like a conversation at some point before we start whacking things.
Hmm.
Well, you can have this conversation, but as you are having this conversation, things are happening. So, but if you want to take a minute to look around and talk to them and kind of take everything in, that's fine. Um, Go ahead and roll a D10 for me.
Okay. Oops, went off the board.
Look at you.
It went off the board again. I think this board is crooked. Let's tilt it a little bit. Much better. 2.
2.
I don't know
Mhm.
about
Okay.
much better.
Well, it's a result.
It is a result. So it is, even though it is mid morning at this point, there are shadows, and you hear a rustle sound, and you look to your left, and there's a shape, but it's gone before you can really lock onto it. And you hear the same sort of sound on your right, and you turn in that direction just in time to miss whatever it is. So you gather there are at least at least 2, if not more, figures around you. It's kind of sticking to the trees. Right now, the only thing you see is this cat, but you gather that there are other things, roughly, we'll say the same size as this one,
Hmm.
around you. But you hear the movement. But with that score, you don't know exactly what it is.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna wait for something dangerous to approach me.
Okay, all right. So you ready yourself. All right.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, Kareem, what do you do?
I just told you.
I knew it. I know. I said it was gonna happen. I said it was gonna happen.
Nailed it.
There. Now we're not. Now it's not gonna happen again. Now it's not gonna happen again.
Hmm.
All
Sure,
right.
it won't.
And so, Alaric, what are you going to do?
I am going to uh knock a my last iron arrow
Okay.
and go into was it standby mode? Just see what's gonna happen.
Just ready yourself. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay. So both of you are kind of readying yourselves, preparing yourselves. Uh, the angel. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, obviously, as soon as I saw the kitty, just to get this out of the way, I pointed and said, "Kitty!" Because, I am a badass being of white mana, but kitty.
Yes.
Hmm.
And it's pretty adorable.
Um, Remind me again how. Sorry, but it's only been like 8 months. How mana works in combat.
Okay. Yeah. So we've had a couple revisions to that, and again, this is one of the things about playing like a pre-alpha version of a game that's not even basically you guys are my testers. So what we had said originally was that you could go ahead and ready like essentially 1 mana a turn. The thought being trying to encapsulate the same feeling of a magic game. Like, okay, you get 1 land a turn. I think we found that basically you guys were never casting spells.
Yeah.
So as a result, what I'll say is you can tap as many lands as you want. You can go ahead and get them ready, but then the more you use them, the more quickly they get exhausted and the harder it is to use them later. So I'm tracking how often you're using them. So basically, you can tell me how much mana you're tapping. You obviously can't tap more than you have lands. So, and of course, it will go away um, if it gets back to your turn and you haven't used it.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
okay.
So I have my manifest white ability, right?
You do.
And I'm gonna. Should I assume that I've also seen the weird shadows out of the corner of my eyes as I look around?
We can say, if nothing else, that Alaric would have told you about them, and so would Karim, because he's the one that
Okay.
actually did it. See, I didn't mess up. I didn't mess up. Karim would have been like there and there, and you would have heard it too. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the way that my manifest works. It says if there's anything I want to do with white mana, I should describe it and find out what it costs and if it'll work.
Correct.
So, Al in the chat said, "Other Kareem." So what I want to do is just fire out some light in every direction, because if I can't tell if these are like shadows or what, but I want to just
Okay.
how do I word this?
Okay. So
I want,
you want
like
to.
light to spread starting at me out in a sphere around me, like not that does anything. I guess I'll put a little bit of extra oomph in it for it to if there's anything that good old white mana will hurt, I want it to hurt it, but I'm not trying to do anything else with it.
Okay. You're not trying to blind or anything like that. Okay. Then, and how you want to create this in a sphere centered on yourself. The trees are probably the trees are within 10 to 15 feet of you. So how far? What kind of diameter or radius do you want to create for this?
Well, I mean, I want it to go at least out to the wherever we hear the rustling.
Okay. Then for that, I would say that X for this, for something like this, especially because you're not trying to harm anything with it, X for this is going to be 2. So this would cost you 2 and a white.
Okay. Well, let's. Yeah, because I don't know what we're dealing with. Make it 3, because like I said, I want to put a little oomph into it in case there's anything actually black magic evil there. I want it to feel it. So this isn't like just light, but I'm not trying to hard light construct. I just want it to be, if something out there is, because you said shadows, so my mind immediately jumps to black mana, or to black magic. I really want to. Something, if there's something out there that's black mana based, I want it to be like, ow, damn.
I gotcha. Okay.
So is that still 2, or should I bump it to 3?
I feel confident that should just be 2. That's fine.
Okay, so I will pull from my let's see, because I don't know what's out there from my tier land, so I'll get a toughness boost.
Nice.
And then two of my planes.
All right. So you pull the mana and go ahead and cast that spell. The others watch as you kind of cup in your hands a little bit of light, and as you say the incantation, it spreads in a sphere, and I knock my lamp. Describing this, even though no one can see it, and the light spreads out, and as it does so, the cat in front, it passes kind of through it, and it kind of rears back. It goes hiss, but it doesn't seem to be affected by it. And now the woods directly around you are lit up, and as you look around, you see that there are, in fact, in addition to the cat in front of you, you see 4 other cats. And basically almost just, we'll think of the back of a magic card. I was going to say a pentagram, but basically those thing, the points of position, the positions of the points of the colors, just basically the one in front of you that you can see, and the other 4 located around you. The 2 that would be closest to The lead one there appeared to be just a couple feet off the ground in a tree, maybe 2 or 3 feet, fairly low. The other two behind you are much higher at about 10 feet up. These other cats look feral. They don't have any sort of adornment on their bodies. They're cats. And they're not leonine or anything like that. They are felines. And they're all about, regular house cat size. All right.
All right. So
As
you guys saw that, right? They're just cats.
Yes.
Are you keeping the light up, or was that just like a flash?
No, that was just a flash, so we could. Well, not like a flash, like a camera flash, but I'm not keeping it up. No, that was just so we
Yeah,
could see
no,
what's going on and to
Okay.
maybe singe something if it was bad.
That was how I interpreted that when we were talking about it. None of the cats seem to take any damage from the spell. They seem a little like like a cat, when you turn on the light all of a sudden and it's, doing something it wasn't supposed to. So,
All right, so you guys saw that. They look like cats. What do we do about cats?
as you're saying this, the lead cat goes "Roar," and the others start jumping in from every angle. Um, the two of you that had prepared things, what are you guys doing? The four cats are basically heading toward you simultaneously. We'll say for the purposes of this, you guys are largely in a line structure with Karim at the front. Um, who would have been taking up the rear? I'll let you guys decide.
Well, given that you went Kareem, Alaric, me, I'm guessing I'm in the back, just because
If
that was my assumption when
Okay.
you gave
All
it
right.
to us in that order.
So the two cats in the lead are heading toward Kareem. The two cats in the back are split. One heads toward the angel, the other heads toward Alaric.
And
So
they're all on the ground now, is what you're saying.
they are all like heading. Some of them are jumping through the air. Some of them are heading toward the ground, but they are all moving toward you with purpose.
Gotcha.
Since two of you had stuff ready, what are you doing before they get to you?
I'm going to like kick at them and swipe at them to try to shoo them away.
Okay. Not using a weapon, just using
Hands and feet. Yeah.
your hands and feet. Okay. Uh,
Get out of here. Go.
all right. Go ahead and roll a d4.
Okay. 1.
1.
Nailed it.
You attempt to kick a cat that's coming at you, and it dodges. We'll get to it in a second. Alaric, because Alaric, you had knocked an arrow. What are you doing?
I'm going to shoot the other cat that's coming towards Kareem.
Shoot the other cat that's coming toward Kareem, not the one that's coming toward you. All right. For your bow and arrow, is this a short bow or a long bow? Remind me.
It
'Cause
is a niveler.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. So roll a d12.
Derek's like, I can't count that high.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. Okay, you shoot the cat, and the cat dies, and PETA sends you a letter in the mail. but the cat dies. I go and it falls over. Mike, the
Yeah.
Kareem, the other one coming at you, jumps around your leg and strikes out with its claws. What is your defense value? Remind me.
My defense is
Since we reworked
7.
combat. Your defense is 7?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't have a defense. What is defense?
Should
You
be on
not have
page
one?
1.
It's toughness.
No,
Oh,
there's
it's
power, defense, toughness, and HP.
Yeah.
I just have power toughness. I don't. When was there a rework? I have my
It was before the
original
last episode.
like Word document here.
Probably
Yeah,
have
Brian
to-
gave us new sheets with
Remember, I
like
emailed
reworked
them to
stats
you, and
and re-explained skills.
I emailed them to you, and I said, now if you want to print it out, there's things where you can check it out. And you're like, Brian, you're the only person on the seaboard that has a printer. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, hey, look at that. Here is... What is this? Go away. Why did this open in freaking Microsoft Edge? Jesus Christ, Windows.
All right, so Mike, Kareem, it starts to try to sink its claws into you, but due to the thick nature of your traveling boots, it doesn't make it in before you are able to shake it off, and it like hits the ground a bit stunned, but okay. Kareem, what is your defense?
Goodness gracious, Brian.
What?
You called for
Dang it. Dang it. Dirk,
I have
Alaric,
no
what is...
idea.
Okay, I can look it up. I'm
Please.
assuming that... Okay.
Dirk is in the process of moving, so some of this
Yeah.
stuff is just...
Well, no, I
vanished.
have the old sheet. I did not write down defense on it. So.
Ah.
Yeah. He was as prepared as could be expected under the circumstances. I am pulling up the email I sent to Dirk. Not D&D. Jeez, come on. Loading. Here we go. Dirk, revised character sheet. 4, which is set by equipment. Yes, thank you. Dirk, the one coming at you, actually manages to sink its claws into you. It does a running jump and claws at your face. You take 1 point of damage, which comes off your toughness. It bad cat. And the angel, what is your defense?
Apparently it is 4, modified by equipment.
Okay. Well, this cat can't roll. It's been taking lessons from Mike. That's Mike, not Alaric or Kareem. Dang it. So it goes for you, but you kind of parry a little bit, and you use your wings to knock it off guard. So 1 cat down, 3 cats attacked. Only Alaric is bloodied. Kareem, what do you want to do next? Oh, and the lead cat is there, but he's just kind of watching and hissing.
All right, I'm going to attack the lead cat
You're going to attack the lead cat with what?
with a sword. Why not?
Okay. Is that your obsidian steel scimitar?
Yes, it is.
All right. So roll, I believe that's a D8. So go ahead and roll a D8.
Yeah, this says. Okay, so where it says dice 2d8, is that the damage or the attack roll?
It's in this system as it is right now, that's kind of both. You roll both, and then damage over toughness and damage over defense is kind of where you come up with how much damage it is. So
Okay.
that's 2d8, because a regular short sword is 1d8, but yours is special. So
Okay. So it's a total of 5. Well, wait a minute. I also have the light weapon feature. I power. Okay, how does my power figure into this?
that's a good question. This is the problem with reworks.
So I have
Okay.
4 power. My light weapons gives me +3 power when attacking with a light weapon. So I have 7
That'd be
power.
7.
I have 7
And-
powder. I have 7 power, and I rolled 5 on the dice. So what's
that would
going
be
on?
So that would be a total of 12, because
Okay.
you do add power to a melee weapon. So that'd be a total of 12. So yeah, I'm gonna have to start throwing dragons at you guys, or keep working the damage. everybody's here for this workshop stuff, right? I mean, that's part of the experience. Alaric,
Mm-hmm.
you stroll over. You do nothing. You watch as Kareem. Oh my god, it's not even funny at this point. It's not.
No, it's still pretty
Kareem,
funny.
Kareem, you take out your special scimitar. You walk right up to the feline sovereign, and you rear back, and it just kind of looks at you, and you just swipe down, and as you hit it, it goes and falls to the ground. As you do so, the green light leaves its eyes, and the other cats all of a sudden just start looking around like, what's going on? And they start immediately running into the trees.
So
Imagining Kareem parkouring up through the tree to then hit the cat.
Well, this cat was on the ground.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, if you want, you can imagine he backflipped all over all sorts of stuff to get there. But this one was the one that he saw, and it kind of just jumped down and was staring at everybody. But not too bad. So you're out of combat. You got 2 dead cats.
yay.
Good job.
You should probably get your arrow
Okay.
back.
I will that one. Alaric.
Mm-hmm.
It stings where its claw raked your face. I would say where it jumped at you, it's kind of like going around your chin or so. It is red and it is bloody. This was mean. I it also you do notice that it did seem like it hurt more than a regular cat scratch should. Um the claw seemed to be a bit extended further, not like a raptor claw, but it seemed a little sharper and stronger than it should have been. But as soon as the sovereign died, the others immediately almost seemed to diminish a bit.
Mm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, like he said, I'm going to retrieve my arrow.
Okay, it's a bit gross because cat. But you got it.
Wipe it on my pants.
That's what pants are for, or so I'm told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddy, your face looks kind of buh. You want me to heal that up some?
Yes, please.
All right. I will do a blessed healing
Okay.
to
So-
what is that? Oh, I can remove 2 damage.
Yep.
I get the feeling this rework has something to do with you playing so much D&D, but then you didn't actually tell most of us about it.
We explained the rework last time, and then you didn't fight a whole lot right away because you were running from bees, and also it was
Damn bees.
9 months ago. It was a pregnancy ago. So, but I will say that I have tried very hard to not D&Dify this whole process. I'm still trying to maintain, oh, this all comes from Magic the Gathering to some extent. But I really wasn't happy with a lot of like how the weapons worked at first because you guys were killing everything. Now I've done the rework, but you've got special weapons, so you're killing everything.
Everything.
But Alaric did take a point of damage for like a minute there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next. That
Next,
was not
the whole forest attacks us.
that was not supposed to be like a deadly encounter anyway. I mean, it was 5 cats. You've fought like arrogant worms before, so. But anyway, you find yourselves still in the forest. It's going on, about lunchtime now. You stopping here? Or are you continuing on your journey?
I mean, if we
About
don't
what
seem to
time
be
is
in
it?
any danger, I don't see any need to stop.
No, just it's up to you guys. But I figured you probably wouldn't kill some random cats and be like, all right, we're good. Well
All right,
then,
move on.
Alaric,
Yeah.
What
go
time?
ahead and
About what time is it?
right now it's so you got up in the
9:08
morning.
p.m. Eastern.
You got up so actually it's probably about 10 to 10:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Sun is not directly overhead, but it's getting there. The canopy here, because of the jungle setting, is pretty thick, but you do see sunlight coming down. But there are patches of shadow, which is why the angel's light was fairly effective in showing you the cats surrounding you.
Mao. All right. So, how does, again, apologies for not remembering anything.
That's okay.
So I've now used 6 mana because
Correct.
I used 3 for the manifest and then 3 out of combat for blessed healing. How does that work?
Now that you're out of combat, um, you've used 6, right? So,
Yeah,
and I have
9.
you at 9 total. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yes, I'm paying attention. So, the next time you need to use some, you can tap any or all of that. The third time in a single day that you go to tap any of the ones you've already tapped today, uh, they will tap, but then they will not untap immediately. So the
gotcha.
more you draw on them starting the third time, the slower they are to recharge.
Okay, so I was
Okay.
wondering because
Yeah.
I read what my crystalline gauntlet does, and I was like, oh, at the beginning of an encounter, I can untap all lands I control.
Yep.
But when we're out of combat, all my lands are untap anyway, so I'm confused.
Yeah. And so right now, essentially, you notate the 6 that you've used. Um, they all effectively untap, but when you go to tap any one of them again, second time that's fine, and then third time they tap fine, but then they will not immediately untap. So
Gotcha.
Crystal and Gauntlet is more like as you get toward more late game stuff when you're constantly casting stuff.
Excuse me. Gotcha.
Yeah, no. I'm happy to answer questions. Trust me.
Oh no, the excuse me was for the hiccup, not for asking.
Oh well, all right then. I guess we're okay then.
Damn
Okay.
right. Well, okay,
All
fearless
right.
leader. Shall we? Karimaric?
So Kareem,
Yes.
go ahead and roll your d6 and add your trekking score.
Falling off the board.
You really are bad at
Falling.
this.
Oh my god.
Why are you bad at this?
I don't know. 5.
5. Okay.
Trek.
You travel on into midday, a little past midday. You start to hear sounds around you again. No cats, but sounds you're more familiar with, buzzing of insects. Maybe a frog here or there. You look over at one point, you do see a very, very brightly, almost rainbow colored frog. It ribbits. It's very tiny. Do you do anything to it?
I will leave it alone.
All right, wise decision.
As we walk
And
past it, I will start humming chub toad at the door.
it looks at you, sticks out its tongue, and licks its own eyeball. Then it hops away.
Run
I'm gonna
away
Continue
hum
quick,
the
on.
song.
or you'll run no
It's
more.
about being green.
You continue on, and then a little after 2, it is hot, and it's getting hotter and hotter. You come into a small clearing, and you find what appears to be a a shallow hole, and it looks like it might have been a water hole at some point. Probably about maybe circular, not quite complete. It's not perfect circular. It's not manufactured or manicured or anything, but maybe about 20 to 25 feet in diameter. And the trees do open up a bit on the other side, and you do see where you can keep heading in the direction that you do feel reasonably confident isn't northeastern direction. But there's this dried uh, water hole in front of you. You don't see any creatures around, and they're still buzzing. It's the forest is not grown silent suddenly. You do still hear just the general background sounds you've heard before.
All right. I guess we just go around. I don't think it's very wise to go in it. It might be
Like
who knows
unstable
what's
or
hiding in
something.
the. Is it completely dry or is it just like mud at the bottom?
Ah, do you? It's a little difficult to tell from here. Do you get down in it to try to get closer, or are you just trying to ascertain from where you are? It's a little difficult.
Oh, are we not standing at the edge of it?
You are standing at the edge of it. It slopes down a bit, um, but I guess I will say, to answer your question, it does appear that the ground is different shades of gray dirt and brown dirt. And from here to the middle, it appears dry. There is some discoloration toward the very middle, and you're not sure from where you are if it is due to moisture or just due to something else in the composition of the ground.
Yeah, I think let's just go around instead of
Yeah,
trying to go directly across.
best not to tempt fate.
So you
No
guys just kind
dying.
of skirt around the edge.
Yep.
Okay. Right. Need to see one thing.
You ever get the feeling that someone is trying to figure out if a mud monster is going to attack us?
Perish the thought.
I don't know. I feel this tension on the air, like someone is trying to decide if a mud monster should attack us. I don't know.
I
Maybe I'm
was
just
really
weird.
trying to figure that out too, but I guess I don't have the right tables for that.
As you're walking, I will say that you're about halfway across. You do hear this pop, burble, burble, and a little bit of liquid does start to seem to rise. Not in a mud monster, but just a liquid seems to spread out from the middle. It's not advancing very quickly. It appears to just kind of be spreading out a little bit. But it's moving fairly slowly. It's not gonna flood the banks or anything anytime soon, but it doesn't appear to be completely clear. It looks like really kind of just honestly muddy water. Little brown, bordering on almost like a it's almost brown, almost like a dark purple kind of look to it.
Hmm. Okay.
Continue walking.
Hey, look. A natural spring of some nasty crap we probably shouldn't fool with.
Yeah. Now I have the Beverly Hillbillies theme in my head.
Is that bubbling crude?
Yes.
Texas tea. Mm, that takes me back, man. Okay, you continue to walk around while, you know, apparently liquid gold spills out of them there hills. Um, I'm nobody goes down. It gets up. It gets up. Maybe like a third of the way or so. Again, very slowly. You make it around to the other side. You start. Do you start to leave the clearing? Do you wait and watch, or what do you do?
I guess I'm a little curious.
Okay.
So were those cats that
It's
we fooled with earlier.
it seems to have stopped, not making any additional sound or anything like that. You can get down into the basin to get a little closer. You can observe it from where you are. What do you want to do?
I'll stay here. Does it still look weird and dark?
It still looks pretty weird and dark. Now, sometimes, when a spring happens and it passes through the ground, the initial spurt will have some of the debris and whatnot that it carried with it. It looks like this has still maintained a lot of that same discoloration.
Hey
Does
Brian,
it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to never use the words initial spurt together ever again.
Aw.
does it smell weird?
Yeah, I feel like I gotta be very careful about how I answer that after Chewy's last comment. But you don't notice from here any particular odor. You'd have to get a little closer for that.
You ever
How
get the
many
feeling
times is
someone?
Brian gonna say you could try going closer?
I'm
Yeah.
not saying you have to do anything. You're asking
Saying-
questions, and I'm telling you this is what you can see from here. This is what you can tell from here.
I'm
But
gonna,
if you were closer,
I'm gonna say this in character to Karim, who is clearly watching this intently. I'm gonna elbow him. Hey,
what?
you ever get the feeling someone's trying to entice you to go down there and see what that is?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Do me a favor and don't ever do that.
You're right. I probably shouldn't.
Because this looks like something that the Golgari would deal with, and I don't. Ew.
You'll have to
As
explain that to me later.
as you're
Oh, have you never been
watching,
to Ravnica?
Sure, it's the Ballad of Halloween, or maybe it's the hymn of Friday the 13th, or something of that, where looks interesting. Let me go see what it is, and then something bad happens.
Oh, okay. I was like the
Pretty sure it's
music.
the
What are you
ballad.
talking
One of
about?
those is a ballad.
You-
Pretty sure.
You're a ballad.
I like how the Chewie's answer was in character and referencing the world, and Dirk's was horror films.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Mm-mm.
Wait, wait, have you never been to Ravnica?
No.
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, okay. The Golgari. It looks like wastewater. There, how's that?
Oh,
And
well,
as
yeah,
you're
I can see
watching,
that.
as you're watching, toward the middle of it, it looks like a bubble is expanding just a little bit. It's not very big, and then it's getting a little bigger until it's maybe half a foot and getting bigger and pops. As it pops, a noxious smell immediately reaches all of your noses. I'd like for each of you to roll a d6 and add your toughness.
Hmm.
Toughness. All right, hang on.
I got a 5.
I got a 7.
8.
All of you managed to avoid retching, but Kareem, it's closest to you. The smell hits you. And it's funny, Angel, that you mentioned, the Golgari, because it is a smell of rotten things, just decay, decomposition. And at first, you're almost like, "Oh, did something die in there?" And maybe it did, but it's the second it hits you. But then, as you're kind of processing it, it almost reminds you of farming and fields and manure, and it's more of a natural smell, but it's not like a dead bodies and things necessarily, but it is very much a rotten decay and decomposition smell. released from that bubble.
And this is where I go, yeah, see? That's that's what I was talking about.
Let's get out of here.
Yep, you just had to stop and look, didn't you? So now we're gonna leave.
You're gonna leave?
Yes.
As you start heading back into the trees, are you looking in front of you, or are you kind of watching the pool?
I'm looking in front of me, going forward.
That's what I figured. Okay. All right.
Yes, we are
So I-
GTing the FO.
Okay.
So do I get drop kicked in the back of the head by a poop monster?
I don't know. Do you? You do as the last person. So what? Kareem's in front. Is it then Alaric and then the angel, or are you shifting the order at all?
I'd say we're still probably doing the same order.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was thinking
Then I would
since I was
say-
just talking to Kareem, I'm probably up closer to him, but okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
You guys tell me.
I'm
Yeah.
pulling up the rear.
Okay.
You're pulling up the rear. So Alaric, you being the last one to step away, as soon as you get about 2 feet away from the edge of where this pool really begins, like where the downward slope begins, you hear a sort of slushing sound. Do you look back at the pool, or do you keep going?
I'm gonna look back, but I'm also gonna hop, skip, and jump closer away or further away from the pool.
Okay. Well, as you look back, you see that the liquid seems to be draining back into the ground. And it's funny, as you stop to observe this, it seems to almost stop its progress. And then as you take that hop, skip, and leap further away, more of it drains. It seems the further you get from the pool, the more it drains.
I'm gonna let them know what the word is, and be like, let's keep going.
Yeah. I guess if we ever need some gross, nasty stuff, we know where to go.
You're right.
Okay.
Ew.
If you're continuing on now into the mid to later afternoon, Alaric, you don't do anything. Kareem, you go ahead and roll a d6 for trekking. I caught it.
7.
Very nicely done. Spurred on, perhaps, by, the mental image of a mudman coming to accost you from behind. You pick up the pace, and you're able to kind of pick your way. You're noticing the flora, the fauna, all those good things, the merry weather. You're able to really be able to tell your way through this jungle, and you start to pick up a pretty good pace. And as you do, after another 2 hours or so, you notice that the trees are starting to revert a bit back to more of the standard forest fare that you've been used to. The temperature seems to be cooling a bit, more so than you might expect just from the heat of the day starting to pass, and you start to
Oh.
get more comfortable. Yes.
Before this is something I meant to do a while back when you mentioned that the trees were getting weird. Before we get out of that weird part of the forest,
Yeah.
I want to try to make a mana bond.
Okay.
Because when you mentioned that it wasn't a normal forest anymore, I was like, oh, I got to do that. And then something else happened and I forgot to do it.
Okay. All right.
So hey
Anybody
guys,
else
hang on
gonna-
a second. I want to try to get some mana from this place.
Me too. That was actually the reason why I kept asking about the time, because if it's about time for us to rest, then I want to go ahead and try and bond with the land before we
Okay.
lose the day.
Anyone that wants to go ahead and do that, I'm looking at you guys. Yeah.
We're the only ones here, so
Yep. Go ahead and roll a d6. Anybody that's gonna do it.
All right, I'll try.
Huh. Ho! Nat 6.
Nice.
Although I
I
don't
also
think
got a 6.
that matters for this, does it?
Well, no, it may. Well, not the fact that it's not, but the fact that you got a 6. Yes, Mike.
I also got a 6.
Wow, you're gonna die in combat, but you're gonna be great with this. And Dirk,
2.
2. Dirk, Alaric. Alaric, you control 5 forests.
Yes.
Okay, so all of you add 1 jungle hollow to your mana sources, and it can tap for a green or black mana.
Hey.
So good job.
I am going to
The
point
more-
out that I feel a little dirty about that.
You form a bond with this, and it has a slightly oily texture to it in the back of your mind. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little gross. Mike, now that you have rolled a 7, and you've been doing, yeah. Alaric does nothing. Kareem gets an additional +1 to his trekking from now on.
Hey.
Cool.
You're getting better at this. That's something I always wanted to implement with the system was, gradual experience, like how you earned barehanded from punching
Excuse me.
a merfolk in the face. So yeah,
Yeah, and I learned to break open from breaking open a morph creature.
yep. There you go. There you go.
So Brian, are
But
you keeping track of this stuff? Because you had sent me a file that I can't edit.
Yeah,
I
you
am
sent us
making
PDFs.
Okay.
I am making a note on my paper, and what I can do later is go in and up. So everybody gets a jungle hollow. Mike, Kareem gets an additional +1 for trekking, which puts you up to 3, I think.
Yes.
All right. So you do before you leave the jungle section, you do make a bond with the jungle hollow. You pass through and you find yourself in these woods, and you have a feeling you're not entirely certain. You don't think you've been to this particular, like, this 5 feet of forest. It doesn't look that familiar, but just the way it feels, the direction you're heading, you feel like you're getting fairly close to the tower. You think you'll maybe be able to reach the tower either by nightfall or, depending on when you take a break, first thing in the morning. But you get the sense you're not too far away from it now. You're entering the wooded section. Nothing immediately catches your attention. Nothing immediately jumps out and accosts you or anything like that. So you have some time if you need. You make this observation. You think now, as it's approaching, uh, dusk, you're probably within an hour or 2 of getting to the tower. You think.
Okay, great. I think we're really close. We made a lot of progress today.
I have noticed a distinct lack of weren't we just here today? So
Yeah, we've
Well-
actually been going in a straight line.
well done on not wasting our time. Not that I don't appreciate it, what you're doing for us, since I don't know how to find my way. I would just fly up and over, but that doesn't do you guys any good. Assuming I could get out. I'm pretty sure I could get out of this. Now that we're out of the jungle. I'm looking up
Probably.
as I say this.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. The trees have you notice it's not dense canopy up ahead, but or overhead, but there's still branches, leaves. A lot of the sky is still covered, but it's not the same. It's not like layers and layers of canopy.
So keep trucking.
Yep.
Okay. I would say with your natural trekking score and how close you are, uh, another hour, about an hour and a half, just as the sun is really going down, you push through one final line of trees and you find yourself, and if you recall, there is a section of cleared land around the tower you kind of enter this sort of clearing area that stretches for several hundred feet. It's not small. And you do see this tower at a bit of a distance. Um, this sense of almost deja vu strikes you. The last time you were here, there was a mad moonfolk dying of a mana overload, essentially, at the entrance to the tower.
Hey, I
And
remember that.
as you start to get a little closer, you start to recognize some of the vegetation just at the ground, and you start to realize, maybe a little stack of stones over here. You see as you get closer, there appear to be two figures standing in front of the tower entrance. The tower, as you call, about four or so stories up, ending in a conical roof, red stone, covered with photohydras that make scaling it nothing's impossible, but difficult. But there are two roughly humanoid figures standing outside the tower. It's difficult. The sun is going down. For the angel and for Alaric, it's difficult to really tell. As the sun goes down, Karim, you find your senses expanding. You find your eyesight sharpening. And you immediately recognize one of those figures as Alana, the woman that helped you in Aosk and you
Hmm.
saved. The other has a very, very familiar look to her. You see a woman in her 30s to 40s. She, Caucasian, probably, although a little tanned. White hair with streaks of blue and gold running through them. Wearing multicolored clothes that have a sort of utilitarian look to them. And round spectacles. And she's just staring at you very expectantly.
So I'm gonna, as always, interrupt this. I'm gonna elbow Kareem and be like, "Hey, vampire face, can you see who that is? Cause I can't make it out."
Well, one of them is the girl from a village that I saved from a vampire.
The one who snatched our scroll.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
All right, who's she with?
Um, I don't know, some scholarly looking person, I guess. I don't recognize them.
Huh? Didn't we meet someone at the library? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's not who it is.
Oh,
I would have noticed.
huh. Okay, what do we do now?
I don't know. Just keep keep walking, see what's up. I mean, they came here for probably a reason related to why we're here.
Let's hope so.
Okay.
What was on the scroll that she snatched? I forgot.
I don't remember right now.
You don't know. You
Oh,
didn't
we
have
never
it.
looked at it.
It was a locked scroll case. You
Hmm.
tried to open it, it didn't work.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So you approach the tower.
Yes.
As you finish approaching, the sun finishes going down, and there's no moon, but the stars come out, and the rest of you are able to see okay, especially as you get closer. When you get to maybe about 20 feet out from these figures, the rest of you do see her. And I will say, neither of you are really as familiar with Alana as Alaric was, but
Or Kareem.
oh, Kareem, my God, uh, next campaign, one of you is Tom and one of you is Jerry, and I'm still gonna mix that up. But
I'll be
you actually
Steve.
the woman with the white hair actually does say, "Ah, it's the three of you. I was hoping it would be. It's been a long time since the library, in fact."
Oh, I guess I just didn't recognize you.
Oh, so wait,
Oh,
is this Aerodeth?
this is not Aerodeth.
Okay.
She was leaving Aerodeth's. Uh, you got to Aerodeth's office, and she was coming out, and
Oh
there
yeah,
was
because
just a
Aerodeth
moment
was
where you had
I didn't write it down, but was it something else?
Aerodeth was a non-binary elemental.
An element. I
So
knew there was. It was something non-human.
yeah, she she was leaving his office, their office. Um,
Gotcha.
and she says, been a very long time since we've had wanderers or planeswalkers, if that's your preferred term, to our humble little plane. My name is Seer, and you have something that I want.
Seer is coming along well. She will be ready to assist you soon.
That's what I thought.
That's the thing that was written in my handwriting. I'm reminding them not in character, but
I figured as much.
yeah,
So
the angel did not say that. I'm reminding them. That's what
yeah,
we found written on, scribbled on something in my handwriting that confused us.
yep. And Gander mentioned Seer to Kareem
There you go.
in there. I had to close my eyes for a second and kind of picture. So, but Seer says, I understand Icolnir gave you the key. Is that correct?
Okay, remind me. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
She this is the problem with doing this over actual years.
Yeah.
While you were with
Yes.
Icolnir, she gave you
I
a
was, I was I was checking my inventory to see if I had it. And no, I don't see it.
somebody has it. She gave it to somebody. Hopefully you didn't like throw it away. But she gave you a round sphere, and she explained that it was the key to Noatun, the tower. So somebody's got it, or you're going on the world's longest fetch quest again.
Hmm.
So
I don't.
I
I don't
trust
know
that
how
she
to
gave it to
answer
you.
her, and I don't know how to ask how we answer her without her getting suspicious.
I'll just answer. Yeah, we have it.
Clasps her hands together. She says, "You have no idea how long, how many decades. I don't know why I talk like this. You have no idea how many decades I've been waiting someone to bring the key. But Icolnir and I don't see eye to eye anymore, and Gander, quite frankly, does not trust me. So I had to wait for someone else. So if we can go into the tower now, I think we can finally start to set everything right."
While she's talking, just out of habit, I'm gonna reach out with spiritual awareness and see if I sense any sort of the evil. Just a
Okay.
thing I do when I meet new people.
It is, and that is fair. So give me 1 second. I want to look up spiritual awareness just to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Making sure that I am applying this the way that we have done consistently especially since we've
It
been
says,
so.
attune to your surroundings to detect the presence of undead or demonic creatures or objects connected with black or white mana, as well as the general emotions of creatures within those surroundings.
Yes, there we go. So,
So I'm gonna reach
okay,
out and
for
see what I can
this,
tell about these two just while we're
yeah.
here.
And what is your
Two.
score for that? 2? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, for that, roll a d10 and add 2. And are you focusing in on her, or are you trying to apply it to her and Alana?
Um. Well, given that Alana snatched our thing and ran off, I'm doing it to both.
Okay. All right. So roll a d10, add 2 to it.
Hey, yep. I got a 6, so 8.
So 8. Okay, that's not bad. While she's speaking, she seems to be almost a little distracted. You attempt to reach out. It's not telekinesis, it's not telepathy or anything like that. It's more of just
It's a
being in
vibe check,
tune.
as the kids
It's a
would say these
vibe check.
days.
There you go. You are getting nothing off of Alana. Like, that's weird. Like, you should be getting something. Like, relief, anxiety, whatever. Stone cold. Off of Seer, you're getting genuine relief. A hint of almost exhaustion being thrown off.
Okay. That's good to know.
And you said 8? Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah. Okay. Now that
So,
I know that we can continue with whatever.
okay. Yeah. No, that's good. Um, so she says, where's my notes? Okay. So she
I
says,
ate them.
yeah. Nom, 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 nom. Dang it.
I agree
Thought
with
I
this
had that.
assessment. Hey, Alaric, how's your face?
Feeling better. Does it look better?
I mean, did it ever?
Well, it's killing me.
Oh!
It's not right here or here. It's like right here.
The bleeding has stopped a bit. So, but while you're doing, so Seer says, we can all go in together. If you have business to attend to elsewhere, I can certainly see myself inside, but the enchantments on this tower are very strong. I haven't been able to break in. If you have the key, we can go inside together.
Should we? Okay, hang on. I'm trying to figure out how I would word this. Also, out of character. Hey, Brian, it is 9:45.
Yes.
Is this the thing we should dive into, or are we just gonna stop once we make a decision here? Probably.
We're okay to keep going for a little bit. Does anybody need to go right away?
Good.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
I appreciate very much that you're making sure that we don't go too long, but I think we're good.
Okay.
So
Okay, so I will I will sort of unconsciously but sort of consciously turn up the charm. Oh, I actually have charm, don't I? Wait a minute.
you do.
But okay, I'm not gonna like try to woo them or anything because I am very sexy. But I will turn out the charm a little bit and be like, is this thing that we should do now?
Seer answers, I mean, I've been waiting a very long time to get into this tower. I really want to try to put this plane to rights for Donathir, but if we need to, if you're tired and we need to wait for a couple hours, that shouldn't be an issue.
Just check. I mean, it did just get dark, which makes, creatures of the night more powerful. As I say this, I rib Karim. We don't know what's in the tower, so I'm a little concerned about just waltzing in here now that
in the middle of the night.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
Well, I've been in the tower. It's just been a long time. I imagine most of the security systems are offline. I think we're fairly safe once we're inside, but certainly, I can't account for everything, and in my absence, things may indeed have gone haywire. So she kind of folds her arms a bit, and she says, if you'd feel more safe waiting a bit, I'm fine with that. There's nothing out here that can really hurt us. The power of the tower uh, tends to confuse less intelligent beasts when they get closer. They feel this urge to kind of turn away. It's a much less powerful form of the same effect that comes off of the tree. So Drizil. So if you want, we can wait out here.
So, okay, another out of character question. How far into the tower did we get?
You opened the front door into a very small alcove, and then
Okay,
any
that's what I
further
thought.
progress you needed the key. You were able to basically access like the mail slot, and that's it, which is where you found a couple letters.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to verify. What, I don't want to be rude, but I also don't want to talk in front of these two. Uh, can we have just a minute to talk amongst ourselves?
She gestures and she says, "Please, sure. Uh, Alana and I will wait right here, won't we?" And she turns to her Alana. Alana says, "Whatever you need." Very deadpan. She says, "See, we're fine here. If you need, I promise I won't listen into your conversation."
Okay, cool. Hey guys, do you want to join me over here real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk away where they can't hear us. And okay, so I got a quick reading. Do what?
Everybody roll a d6 for me.
A D6. 5.
Okay.
4.
6.
5, 4, 6.
Okay. All right,
That's the
continue
combination on my luggage.
That's much better than winning Spaceballs. All right, go ahead and continue your conversation.
You roboted. Say that again.
Go ahead and continue your conversation.
Oh, okay. Okay, that worries me, but okay. So I got a reading on those two. Seer, who, if you'll remember, was the one that you remember the note we found in my handwriting that really freaked me out? That she's the one that was mentioned. She seems really relieved that we're here and we've brought the key. Like, really. Alana, I got nothing. Not anything. Was she a weird zombie thing when you were hanging out with her? Because she is there's a big Alana-shaped hole in the spiritual awareness landscape, as it were, and that's not a thing.
I mean, no, she seemed normal. Like, I guess I don't know if Gander had already gotten to her without me knowing it, like a long time ago.
I'm beginning to think something has changed with her then, and like I said, I can't tell what, but she's weird. Hey Al, you have any undead sensing tips for us? What's up with her? I don't think it's undead, but you know, you're from Innistrad.
I'm not picking up anything in particular.
Hmm.
Because before when we were in the town, I was getting really big vibes of evil and weirdness, and I'm not picking up anything right now. If we go though, I we definitely need to be aware and be ready for something.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're getting these vibes, then yeah, I don't have a good feeling about this.
I don't know. Like I said, Seer seems genuinely relieved that we're here, and that's good. That makes me not distrust her. But like, I just wanted to check with you guys, see if you think we should go in with them now or not, or I don't go in without them. I got nothing.
Let's go in, but also be prepped and ready for anything to happen.
All right, how about you there, Shorty? Just trying to break the tension. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fine. I'm willing to trust Alaric's judgment.
Nice. All right, so should we go tell them that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll saunter back over to them. Do we need to roll anything for that?
No, I mean, you're crossing an open field. I hope nobody will get lost along the way.
I mean, when we
So
walked away, you made us roll, which is a little
I
disconcerting.
did. I did have you do that, and you rolled fairly well. So, you approach, and she says, "Well, have you reached a decision?"
uh, yes, we'll go in with you now,
Excellent.
but
Now, all right.
we're not entirely sure how much we trust you just yet. Just to be clear.
That is probably one of the wisest decisions you've made. We only just met, and I'm sure you've been here days, weeks now, months, maybe a month. You've been here some time, and I'm sure that some of the people you've met have been less trustworthy than others.
Yeah, like this one that snatched this scroll from us and disappeared and showed up here.
I apologize for that. That was my idea. I wasn't sure if I could trust you either to come. I knew that you wanted to get in the tower, but my information is you've had the key for some time, and I'll be honest, we were getting a little impatient, so she took the scroll to just make sure you were on your way. You seem like the valiant types, so girl in danger, yada yada, especially after this one, she gestures to Karim, saved her from my less than reputable colleague. So we thought that you'd probably head this way if you felt like maybe it was in her own interest as well as yours. So well done all. Alana dear, and Alana turns to her and says, "Yes, you can wait out here. It's probably best for you to not try to find your way all the way back to Aosk without our help." So she's okay. Seer turns back to you. All right, you all ready to go in? Alana will remain out here. She'll do whatever I tell her to do.
Did you do something to her?
I persuaded her to come. She was not under any sort of control or compulsion when you met her. You saved her. I was kind of keeping an eye on things through the eyes of a couple people, and I could tell that you two became a bit attached. And when you re-entered Gander's residence, I poked and prodded her a bit and encouraged her to to bring me something that might obviously come from his storehouse, and make sure that that way again to give you emphasis to come here. The girl was never in any danger, not while I controlled her. Nothing in the deep green would pose a threat to her as long as I was with her, mentally at least. If it makes you feel better, I can release her right now, but I don't know what she might do, and I don't think it's in anyone's best interest for her to just go running off into the woods, do you? Especially at night.
No.
So, before we go into the potentially dangerous, extremely magical tower with you, person we've just met, who just admitted to having someone basically under their control, I have a question.
I may have an answer.
Do how do we know each other of old?
He stares at you. You know, there's something about you. And I've read books about angels, but there's something about you that I feel like it nags at the back of my head. But I, I, I don't think I've met you. What's your name? I don't think we've been introduced. I'm Seer. I don't think we've had formal introductions.
Are you guys hearing Brian fade in
Great.
and out too?
Yeah, I'm
Little
having
bit.
trouble hearing.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Um,
I mean, I don't think it's something you're doing. I think it's an internet thing.
okay. Um,
Unless you're weirdly rocking back and forth towards and away from your mic as you're talking.
no, especially with the headphone, I'd have to manually do that. That would be very odd. But
Um,
but no, there's something about you at the back of my mind. But I don't. What's your name?
well, that's a tale I don't have access to at the moment. I'm simply known as the Angel these days.
Remarkable. Well,
But I ask
get,
because we found that when we were here before, we found a note that was in my handwriting that mentioned you by name, and I don't remember ever being here or seeing you or any of this.
may I?
Clearly, I'm missing some information about myself.
Were you missing information about yourself prior to coming to Trivester?
This time, yes.
May I see this note?
Sure.
Okay.
Whichever of us has it, we'll dig it out and hand it to her.
We'll say because this meant something to you. We'll say you had on. You go and give it to her. She looks at it. Um, because it's so dark, when you hand it to her, she actually snaps her fingers, and a little spark kind of appears right hovering above her right palm, and she kind of lowers it to the page, not letting it ignite the paper. She reads it and rereads and says, "I have no memory of you. Whatever happened to you, affected not just your memory, but the memory of anyone. I can extrapolate from this. Anyone that really knew you, certainly. I mean, this sounds like we knew each other. Kind of looks at the other two. Do you people have any missing memories of the angel, or
I don't. We only met however long ago it's been.
Yeah, like we were.
When we came to this plane is when I met the angel.
What, I thought we were all like aware of each other before that.
you
Were
were
we?
aware of each other? You hadn't really done a whole lot together, but you
But
were
like
aware
we,
of each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was not a first meeting when we all showed up here. Is what I'm saying. And I thought we were
And
together when we got here.
Seer asked the question, I will say out of character. You all met prior to your trip here. Not for a long time, but you did.
Okay, that's what I
Seer
thought.
is curious if you guys are missing memories. To your knowledge, you don't have any missing memories. But
Right.
she was asking the question. She hands you the note back. She says, hold on to that. Certainly seems that it's you carry more than one key to more than one mystery this evening.
Hmm. Well, as far as I can tell, you've been honest, so I have no reason to doubt any of that. So I'm still game if you guys are.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It is excellent. She turns toward Alana. Her eyes flash blue for just a moment, and Alana just sits on the ground, seems to make herself comfortable. She turns back to the tower and says, shall we? And she leads you to the tower. You open the first door, go into the little alcove you are used to. She asks for the key. Whoever was holding the key, again, it looks almost like a little round, almost like egg like object, hands it over to her. She pushes it into the slot, and for a moment nothing happened. And then you hear the crank of gears and turning and whirling, and the door slides open to the right. And you find yourself in a fairly large room that you really would swear is larger on the inside than it looks on the outside. And at least one of you is like, magic. Darn it. Um,
Um,
you look.
hey, hang on a second. I have to take my headphones off and check something. Okay, never mind. Front door's
Okay.
still locked. I don't know what I just heard, but nothing's coming in to get me.
That's good. It's in the house.
Is it my hair
you
again?
find
Is my hair in the front of the apartment?
but you find yourself in a large chamber, and perhaps
Oh, the scream.
it's easiest if I describe it as a large donut. You just come through the bottom of the donut, and it wraps its way around to either side of you, and you're able to see most of the chamber, but the center section in about, I'd say, 10 to 15 feet diameter is a round pillar, and it seems to go up into the ceiling. The ceiling here is about it's a pretty decent sized ceiling. It's not huge. It's probably about 10 feet tall or so, enough that you feel like you've got plenty of clearance overhead, but it's not like way up there. And all around you, the walls are covered in what appear to be etched lines and glyphs, and some of them look like magical glyphs you've seen before, and it all seems to be some variation on light or illumination, and they are all glowing a low blue color, so that the room is dimly lit, not brightly lit. And you take kind of all this in, and at the far end, at the back of the room, you can start to just see what appears to be a set of stairs that spiral up and kind of curve around so you can't see exactly from where you are now. You can't see, but you presume it leads up to the next floor. And she takes everything in, and Seer just closes her eyes for a moment. She says, finally. And that's where we'll end.
The Rock
this
has come
episode.
back. Oh, sorry.
That's where we'll end this episode. But we should do another one again before, it's been
Christmas?
a year and we all
Yeah.
forget all this stuff.
Yeah.
Huh. Hey, Dirk.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. It sounds like they're word walls. I'm gonna try to learn Fusra Da.
I hear you. Well, it's that because my character's from Innistrad, the ballad of all of these things, like, oh, there's a ballad about that. Because, all kinds of creepy things happen on Innistrad.
Okay, so that's
There's
what
a
you were
song
going.
about that, I'm sure.
I was just thrown off because Chewie was trying to be like, "Hey, Golgari, I've been to Ravnica," and then you're talking about like real life references, which is fine, but I was trying to follow the flow. So
We're all very
hope you
silly
guys
here.
hope you guys are enjoying this, and I do apologize. I know that the combat rework is tough because A, the rules shift and you don't necessarily know what they are, and B, maybe things aren't necessarily balanced, but I appreciate you sticking with me through this. So we'll figure it out together. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems kind of redundant to have a damage die on our weapon and then a power boost and then
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, depending on how quickly we get back to this, which I really hope it's not like a long, long time, but I'll take a look and we'll maybe have some discussions because I'm not a master designer with this sort of thing, but I certainly appreciate the feedback and combat for this. I don't want to be like super like strenuous and it's super complicated, but it should be fulfilling and rewarding at the same time. You guys just from the beginning have been like one shot, one shot, one shot. But I will say that's kind of the challenge is I've always wanted this to be modeled off of Magic the Gathering, but when Magic gives us a power and toughness, and a lot of the smaller creatures are fairly like I mean when your toughness is like between 1 and 3, it's tough to really do damage that either A doesn't like, oh, everything is just one damage and every creature takes forever, or if you can do 2 or more damage, a lot of stuff just explodes immediately. Like a merfolk's head when it's punched. So I'm trying to remain true to the source material, and I'm trying very hard. I'm trying very hard to not let this just be, oh, this is a reskin of D&D. But I do appreciate any and all feedback and all comments. So we've been doing this for a while now.
So listeners, do let us know how we're doing.
Yeah, very much. Send us an email or use that Discord thing that Chewie's always talking about.
Yeah, you should definitely join the Discord. It's a nice place.
Excellent.
Yay. Also, you should consider going to patreon.com/themanapool to become a lifeguard. And you can get episodes early and videos early. Although, I'm not going to lie, for the regular channel Let's Play videos, I'm considering stopping the early access for those because literally no one watches them. And leave that for I've got 2 new channels, YouTube channels that I'm in the process working on. The deep end, as I've said many times, I'm gonna need people to watch those videos before they go public. So those will definitely get posted on Patreon. But also, I'm thinking of starting another channel that's just for VR videos that will be more edited and narrative style, like the one Hitman video I did. Except, more of that. Plus, just that's where I want to put all the VR stuff. So I'm gonna need people to watch those too. But for like the regular, like I just posted today a Rogue Legacy 2 video, and like nobody watched it in the early release, and there goes my headset. Nobody watched it during the early release. Nobody watches stuff during an early release on Patreon. They usually just wait for it to hit YouTube. But I have been posting odds and ends, and in fact, last week's odds and ends it went up today for lifeguards of the appropriate tier. Yay! It was not depressing to listen to. Haha. That's a selling
Nice.
point, right?
Yeah. Take it where you can get it.
But also, you can get the Mythic Lifeguard tier. You could go to that tier and become a Mythic Lifeguard and get the sponsorship shout out. So I would like to thank. Oh, let's do it in this order. Whoop, that was the order. So I would like to thank Violet Moon, Team Hellas Are You, Scuzzo, Pinball Witch, PJ McMullen, Gothic Man, Mr. Dr. Lewis, Beardy Man. Scroll too far. Kim Ho, Casey, John Parker, Jason Kaus, Jason Doan, Jake Jansens, Connor Kennedy. Sorry, had an itch. Cody Buckowing, Andrew Hunt, ALK Alters, Al, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Thank you all so much for your support and all of our lifeguards at every tier. I appreciate you very much. And there goes my headset again. Why is my headset suddenly unable to stay on my head? What's going on?
Is my voice still doing the fading in and out thing it was earlier?
No,
No,
it stopped after we mentioned it, weirdly enough.
Weird.
Sam probably turned off whatever internet she was using. Was like, all right, I'll go to sleep now. But all right, so that's the Patreon thing. So, how about some final thoughts from you dorks?
Dirk?
It's always a joy to do some D&D-esque RPGing and all that. It has been a while, and my notes do not reflect what we were doing, like where we picked up. So obviously I just did a horrible job of taking notes last time, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I should drop that down. Last thing I wrote was Seer is in front of the tower with Alana. We are in the tower with Seer. Okay.
So yeah, we'll definitely have to pick this up sooner rather than later, so that way I don't forget what's going on.
That would be ideal, yeah.
Yeah. There's not another set coming out for a while, right?
I mean, we could always forego previews to do another RPG episode.
Yeah.
Crap, I was gonna... Hey, you want to do this next week?
I can't.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was a joke.
That's why
Brian's
it's a
not going to be
joke,
here next week.
yes. Yep.
Okay, anyway, back to final thoughts. My bad. Anybody?
Anything else, Dirk? Okay.
That's it for me.
My final thought, this was fun, and I do appreciate everybody's feedback. I really do. I think one of the things that's always that has drawn me more and more, I've almost said always, but I've only really lately, over the last couple of years, gotten into any sort of RPGs, and I've been really enjoying it with Sam and these two knuckleheads over here that aren't Chewy with D&D. And the thing I've really enjoyed about them is the ability to collaboratively tell a story. There's the story I want to tell as the game designer, but of course I don't want to like set everything in stone. I want to kind of set the stage and give the plot hooks, but then it's up to them where they go, what they do. That's what I tried to do with Trivesters. Hey, you can go here, 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 but there's other areas they can go or things they can do, and that's really what I like about this. I think this is why D&D has survived. Pathfinder, other RPGs is
Not
just
to
the
mention
way
the
that we can
Satanic Panic.
Yeah, is that we can tell a story together. It's collaborative storytelling, and I think that's awesome. And hopefully everyone is enjoying this along with us. And if it's not your thing, hey, that's cool. I get it. But if this is your jam, be sure to let us know, because I always enjoy hearing, hey, liking what you're doing, and either constructive criticism, or if you're just like, hey, just give us a thumbs up. Just let us know you're enjoying it. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's it for me.
Did Brian sound like he was leaving a voicemail for that?
A little bit.
All back at the beep.
So, Mike?
Um,
No doubt.
gosh, I
No
don't know
doubt.
what it is with this cough. Like, I had a cold last week and the week before, and I feel fine, but every once in a while I cough. It's like there's still some like stuff in my chest and throat. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of frustrating.
I blame the white people.
Yeah, probably. I've been going back to the office this week, just sort of kind of mainly as a change of pace. Not sure how much I like it.
Jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, because like I'm just out of practice getting up and getting ready in the morning to go somewhere versus to go across the apartment. And also hardly anyone else is there, so I'm just going over there to be completely alone, which is whatever. I could have stayed at home and
I was going to say, I do that right here.
yeah.
Arguably, with
I could have stayed at home and at least have had lunch with Ashley.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
there in the
at
middle.
least at home.
Uh-huh.
At home, you're not even alone. So yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's why you went. Okay. Get away from Ashley for a few minutes. Got it. Like, bye, girl, bye.
No, she probably needs me out of the way every once in a while, but she's too polite to say it.
Oh.
Like, sooner or later he'll pick up on it. Sooner or later he'll pick up on it.
That is very relevant to the thing. Okay, so last week, this is a quick preview of Odds and Ends, or a tiny preview of Odds and Ends. Last week, at the end of the Odds and Ends, I was like, "Oh, it's late, Mike. You should go," because he wasn't feeling well, and he was like, "Yeah," and he hung up, and I went, "Mike's too polite to be like, Chewy, let me stop talking to me so I can go to bed." So once I realized that I have to do it for him. So when you just said that, and I just posted that today, so it's fresh in my mind. So when you said that about Ashley, I was like, "Oh my god, he doesn't even know." Wait, he probably does know. Anyway.
Yeah, that was it really. Just general thoughts about that. Oh, and there was actually supposed to be some stuff going on at work this week, but it all just got scaled way back, and some other people were there today for a meeting, and there were some food trucks in the parking lot, and it was actually like free. Like the company was buying people lunch from the food truck, so I felt like a lot more. There were a lot of cars in the parking lot at the building next door, too. So I feel like a lot of people showed up because they heard about the free food truck food, and also because some of their bosses were in town to get together for the meeting that was going on. So
What
since
is
their
it?
bosses were in town, they came to the office.
What is it about food that comes from a truck that, like, is just so damn good? Like, some of the best tacos I've ever had came from a taco truck that would park outside of Circa every once in a while.
Oh yeah, it depends on what it is. Like taco truck's wonderful. I've had some really good pizza from trucks, surprisingly enough.
Hmm.
I've had some really, why did I pay $10 for this burgers? But I've had some amazing burgers too. And one time I had a lobster roll that was like complete BS. Like I opened up the little container they gave me and looked at the amount of food they gave me, and I'm like, there's no way. This has got to be a mistake. Like, this is just here to make me mad. Like, I'm gonna have to go home and like fix myself a hot dog to get a proper dinner.
Huh. So apparently it's not universal then.
No. But then, but then, like the next day, I read an article on like NPR or something about how, lobster is like really super expensive and hard to get right now. And I'm like, oh, geez, of course.
So then why are they selling it from a truck?
Well, they're not selling very much of it from the truck.
Why are they pretending to sell it from the truck?
Because yeah, like I had, I can't remember how I even heard about it. Like I saw something online about like food trucks in the area, and I'm like, oh, that looks really good, because there was photos of people getting food from this food truck that sold lobster rolls. I'm like, wow, that looks like a really good big old sandwich. And I found out that it was gonna be in the parking lot near some, heck, I don't know, some little wine bar or whatever. And so we went out there, and yeah, it was just complete nonsense how little food I got. And then the next day I read about lobster being super hard to come by. Like, ugh.
Huh. Well, there you go then. Also, to veer away from final thoughts real quick. I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap. Oh, we did that Star Wars episode not long ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, yeah, you guys too. But if you guys have listeners or dorks have any ideas for non-magic like actual topics, like we've done Star Wars, we did the MCU, we did our first one was called Weaponized Nostalgia, where we talked about remakes and legacy sequels and all that stuff, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, if you guys have any topics that you want to hear us ramble about, then by all means do let us know. Because I'm always on the lookout for things that aren't magic that we could branch into. Yeah. Maybe not stuff like a specific show, like, oh, you guys talk about Stranger Things? Because I don't think very many of us have watched Stranger Things.
Not yet. I've been meaning to, but
we watched the first 2 seasons and the first couple episodes of the 3rd season before we just kind of fell off of it. And now I know it. I know it's come back around, so we might catch up.
But yeah, that's why like a specific show or something like that isn't necessarily a good topic for us, just because I can watch whatever for the most part, but these guys have lives and jobs and families and stuff.
We just started watching the Book of Boba Fett. If that tells you how far behind I am, we started it yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, seemed like a good episode. We got one in, and we just real life, but.
See, I know the last time I asked in the Discord, I got a couple of people saying, oh, how about talk about this show? And I'm like, because I'm the only one that's watched it. Or because Dirk's the only one that's watched it. Or whatever.
Yeah, I'm watching Picard now.
See?
Like the first season.
See, I don't even have, what is that, Paramount Plus? I don't even have Paramount Plus.
That's okay. I don't have it either. I'm watching it off the parents' account.
I mean, that counts as you having it. It's fine. My parents don't have Netflix either, but they watch a lot of Netflix. Oh, and Brian's headset died.
Dang.
Well,
says
balls.
And with that, good night is what he said.
Yeah. So my headset died, so I guess I'm done. Good night, guys. All right, well, night B. That's rough. But yeah, we should probably stop. So I guess that's my final thought is if you have any ideas for things, preferably something like big and abstract. Sort of like there was a Just Chatting episode where like randomly in the last like hour I brought up horror movies and horror as a genre, and we talked about that for a while. You know, stuff like that I really love. And then Star Wars, you know, that's big and vague. It's specific to, you know, one IP, but it's big and vague and old enough to where we all know it and love it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But anyway, I guess with that, we should stop, right? That was everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, this has been, assuming anybody's, you know, still here, either live or recorded. Oh, hey, look, Draconic's in the chat. Hey, buddy. But yeah, with that, we will be done. So this has been the Mana Pool number 652, the RPG, Heirs of Trivester episode, or maybe episode, I know I've got that somewhere, but it's not in front of me. So episode, thank you all so very much for joining us, and watch out for being surrounded by kitties in a jungle.